Welcome to the Build on Beauty podcast, where beauty is born skin deep. Now, here's your host, author, speaker, entrepreneur, Cornell Jermaine.
Hi, welcome back to another episode of the Build on Beauty podcast. My name is Cornell Jermaine, and I thank you so much for tuning in on today. If you are a new listener, welcome to the show. If you are a regular listener, thank you for joining me once again. Listen, today we're going to pick up kind of where we left off in the last episode. So if you've been listening, the last two episodes, we've been talking about building bridges and not boxes. Well, in this episode, I want to expound on a thought that was brought about in our last episode, which was part 2 of Build Bridges, Not Boxes. And what that episode spoke to was the idea of a safeguard in life, a safeguard that helps you transition from one point A to B, from a college student to a successful business owner, from a business owner to a successful philanthropist. Wherever point A, B, or C is, wherever point you're starting or where you are, a bridge will safeguard your transit from that place to the next. And one of the things that we mentioned in that episode that I think was great to understand is a safeguard as a vision for your life, a vision for your business being a safeguard, a tool, a thing that you use that helps your transition or your commute from one place, from one position in business, be it a new startup, to a successful Fortune 500, if you will. So the vision being the safeguard, being the bridge that will help make your transition much easier. So I want to dig into on this episode 3 steps to fulfilling your vision, or how to construct and fulfill your vision for this year and the years to come. So I want to take this conversation firstly from scripture. And I do that because I feel that this gives us a foundation that we can best understand the function and the need for a vision. We take that first from Habakkuk 2:2. Habakkuk is in a position in this scripture where he's seeing all kind of issue and calamity and dysfunction in the earth realm. And he's positioning himself to hear from God on how he could bring remedy, or what he needs to do, or to not only reposition himself, but to bring a solution and remedy to the earth. So he says in this scripture, I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower, and will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I shall answer when I am reproved. Habakkuk 2:2. And this is where we take the foundation of what it is that we want to talk about in this episode. The Lord said unto me, write the vision and make it plain upon the tables, that he may run that readeth it. So we have to understand that, and this is the framework from where we're talking about, that God gives us 3 specific steps that we can take in order to fulfill purpose. We understand that vision has to do with a statement or a clause in our life that speaks to the purpose, the overall purpose of God in our life. So the vision is now giving you direction. It's now giving you direction. But in order to fulfill, or even get clarity of the vision, you must do these 3 steps. You have to write it, like the scripture said. You have to read it, and then you have to run with it. So understanding that you have to write it, that is very literal, like taking a pen and writing it out. Now, sometimes we may use tablets, computers, whatever your source of writing is. But what it is you must take the words out of your mind, out of your heart, and put them in front of you, so that you can see the plan of God objectively for yourself. And that gives you an opportunity to, now when things get a little topsy-turvy and you're unclear about things, you can go back and refer to that document. That's the whole point of writing it out. So you have a document that you can refer to that keeps you in alignment. You have to understand that the vision is meant to govern your activity. Now, if we take this conversation a little broader, and I want to do that just to bring a little more clarity, there are 4 things that we do that encompass the purposes of God for our life. There's our mission, our vision, our strategy, and then our goal. Your mission in life speaks to who you are, the value that you carry as an individual. So let's take me, for example. My mission is in life, and this is something that you can adopt for yourself. It's not exclusive to me. My mission in life is to love the Lord my God with all of my heart, soul, and mind, and to love my neighbor as myself. That's my mission. Simple, plain to the point. My vision, however, my vision for my life is to represent God, edify his people, establish communities, and underwrite kingdom initiatives in the earth realm. That's my vision. Very simple, very, very cut and dry. So my mission speaks to the value that I carry as an individual. The vision, however, the vision speaks to who you want to become, what you want to become in the earth realm. Okay. So your mission speaks to who you are, your values. So if you take my mission, for example, my mission is to love the Lord thy God with all my heart, whole, soul, and mind, and to love my neighbor as myself. So what do you think my values are? Just listening to that mission statement, my values are my relationship with the Lord and also my relationship with people. You can say that. You can say, I value God and I value people. I value relationship. Simply put, okay? When you talk about my mission, my vision to represent God, to edify his people, and to establish communities and underwrite kingdom initiatives in the earth realm, that speaks to everything that I said in my mission. It all communicates purpose. It all communicates purpose. But then we have to go a little deeper than that, because just having a mission and just having a vision will not fulfill purpose. You have to now, like the scripture says, write the vision so you're recording it so that you can go back and refer. You can go back and remind yourself. Other people can read it and say, no, this is where we're supposed to be. This is the intent. This is the objective. Okay. You record it, you write it, but then you have to do one other step. Read it. You have to read it, not just once, not just twice. Read it over and over again. And not only read it, and I like to say revise it, because guess what? Your vision is not absolute. You may start off one way and end up going another. Take individuals that graduate from high school and matriculate through all the layers of education, and then get to college, and now they say, well, I want to do this freshman year, but then sophomore year they're like, I don't think I like that no more. It's okay. I think so often we are scared to be in error, and we think that we have to get it right. We have to be perfect. The vision has to be perfect. If it's not said perfectly, if it's not done perfectly, if it's not eloquent, and if it's not grandiose, it's not really God. And that's not true. Because the next he said, if you understand the scripture that we read, write the vision, make it plain. Make it plain. Stop trying to make it so complex. Stop trying to be so deep and wonderful. Make it plain. Why? Because you need to understand it, but also those who need to read it after you need to understand it. So the people that you're assigned to engage with, the people that you're assigned to do business with, to do life with, they need to be able to clearly understand it as well. You understand that? So don't make it complex, make it plain. Just take an athlete, for example, a track star. We'll take a track star. Now I go to the tracks in the summertime, and I see these people, they run circles around me. They go around the track 5 times before I make it once. Why? Because they're trained athletes. Their body is conditioned to do that kind of thing. You know what I mean? Not only that, they run and do track stars and do track star stuff, run over hurdles. Well, if I tried to do that, it would not work because I'm not conditioned for that. You understand what I'm saying? But guess what? What that gentleman or that young lady that's able to do all the fancy things and run and jump and 100-yard dash and jump hurdles and do all that stuff, that's a special, unique skill that's unique to her. Now, can I obtain those skills? Yeah, if with practice. But there are more people that can jump on the track and do what I do, just walking around 5 times, jogging around 5 times, than can do what he or she is doing with all the fancy jumps and hurdles, etc. So making it plain, sometimes we think making things plain takes away from the quality, or it doesn't add enough specialness to it to make it valuable, but that's so untrue. For those that know me, I'm a foodie. And there are so many people that do so many great desserts and so many beautiful cakes and fancy things. I mean, peach cobbler cake and banana pudding cake and strawberry cheesecake cake. And I mean, when I say cake, I'm talking about strawberry cheesecake in the middle of a regular cake. So complex, but beautiful and creative and all those things. But guess what? And I know there are many people like this also, still appreciate an old school plain pound cake. No icing, no glaze, no powdered sugar, no pecans, no syrup, all that other stuff that people put on it, just a plain pound cake. I still appreciate that. I still see value in that. You get what I'm saying? So don't think that your vision has to be complex in that if it's not all glorious in your eyes. And most times that comes because you're looking through somebody else's lens, because you're trying to see yourself through somebody else's lens. You're trying to position yourself in the way you see someone else. So you value X, Y, and Z person, and their life is so grand, and they have this big vision and big thing. So you feel like you have to do that as well in order to achieve. And that's not true. That's not true. Write the vision and make it plain. Even some of the largest companies that do big business, guess what? You go into the inner workings of their operation and you read their business, their vision statements, their mission statements. It's plainly written. Why? Because individuals that come from across the country to work for them need to be able to understand it, just like those who studied in Ivy League college. You get what I'm saying? So write the vision. The step 2 for that is to make it plain. But then you have to read it. And not only read it, you have to run with it. And that's where we sometimes get off track, because we get to the run part and we get winded, tripped up, all of that stuff. But guess what? The vision is recorded so that when you start to make that run and you start tripping over gravel and getting your toe stumped and all that kind of stuff, trying to get to your destination, you can stop, take a break, take a breath, and read the vision again to make sure that you're on the right path. So your vision and your mission, the mission speaks to who you are, your values as an individual. The vision who speaks to who you want to, or what you want to become. Okay. But then you have 2 layers under that. And that is, next would be from mission to vision to strategy. What is the strategy? The strategy is the steps you need to take to fulfill the vision. The steps you need to take to fulfill the vision. But after that, you have then your goals, which calculate your positioning. The goals, they measure your success, how successful you have been in accomplishing that vision. So let me say it again. Your mission speaks to who you are, which is meant to keep you in check. The mission is meant to keep you as an individual in alignment. So when things start going great and you start getting, or you need to be reminded of who you are, or things are going beautiful and you need to be humbled, you can always go back to that mission. So when things are great and you got all this money and resources and relationships and opportunity, you have to go back to that vision and say, okay, back to that mission and say, what's my overall mission? To love my neighbor as myself. So that means when I get to a position where everything is grand and you have all these great relationships and people just knowing your name across the country and you can just enter any door and they know who you are. If you forget to love people, now you have lost sight of the mission. You've lost sight of your mission in life. See, the vision may change, but that mission should always speak to who you are, because if the mission is speaking of you, your character as an individual, the makeup of who you are. The vision speaks to the activity for a said period. Okay? So you have your mission, which communicates purpose, which establishes and helps you to be reminded constantly of who you are and your purpose in the earth. Your vision, which communicates purpose as well, but it has to do with the purpose of a said period of time. So the vision says, this is what we're assigned to do in this dispensation, or in this period, or in this moment, or with this business, or with this relationship. You get what I'm saying? The vision then helps you to identify a strategy, which is the steps that you will take to get the vision fulfilled. And within that strategy, you set goals. And the goals say, okay, we've accomplished this. We've accomplished this layer of success in this vision. We've accomplished this layer of success. So now the more goals you accomplish, now the more successful you become in fulfilling the purpose and the vision that you have for your life. And this is where I want you to start. For those who've never worked this out in your mind, you've never worked this out in your head, you have to start by asking yourself a question. And when I say start, how do you define your vision? Start by asking yourself just this simple question: what do I want? What do I want? Now, sometimes that's very, very challenging for people. If you're like me and you've been out with people who sit at a table and go out to eat, we've planned this outing for a week, and you get to the table and it takes you 20 minutes to decide what you want. Now, that's not me. I'm talking about some of the people I've had to go out and eat, because I'm the kind of person that when you invite me to go out to eat and tell me we got to make a reservation, we're making reservations at so-and-so restaurant, I've already been on Google and seen what they had to offer and decided kind of between one or two items that, oh, I got to try this or I want to try that. It could be the foodie in me. It could be just the whatever, I don't know. But I'm the one that when I come to the restaurant, I don't even need a menu unless I'm just trying to refer to it so I can remember what it was that I wanted. But I already looked at it and I already said, ooh, I'm going to try this. So I've already gauged before we got to the restaurant whether it's going to be one of those restaurants that I'm going to just get an appetizer and dessert, or if I'm going to really go here hungry so I can pig out and really enjoy myself. I've already decided that by the time we get to the table. But then there are people who are not like that. There are some people who get to the restaurant and they look over the menu 100 times. It's like, it's the same thing. You keep flipping that menu over. It's the same thing. What you got to take? Then you got to sit and try to coach them along. So what you want? You want hamburger? Well, I want some beef. Well, you want a steak? No, I don't want. So there you just get down to it and you say, I order for you. I've done that before. I've done that. I got you. I got a good palate, and I can just about know what you like. And I say, you like this? You like onions? You like mushroom? You like? Okay, I got you. Get this. I'm telling you that sounds good. That's me. So especially if it's a restaurant that I'm familiar with. But the point is, when you sit down, sometimes you don't know what you want. So a better question for those individuals who don't necessarily know what they want, ask yourself the opposite. What do you not want? Now, we're talking about your vision still. If you can't answer the question of what you do want, what do you not want? Asking the question of what you do not want will help lead you to what you do want. So sit down. If you're in need of preparing a vision for your life, sit down, ask yourself one of those two questions and write down what comes up. After you write down what comes up, then you construct a statement that encompasses everything that you spoke and make that your vision for said period, for your life, whatever, but make that your vision and understand that the vision can be adjusted. It is not absolute. You don't have to be so married to it that you can't revise it. It can be revised. A vision is for a set period. So your vision in this stage of your life may be completely different 10 years from now, may be completely different 5 years from now. It may be completely different 2 months from now, next year. It can be adjusted. So don't stop trying. Stop being so concerned about making an error, and stop being so concerned about writing it and sticking to it to the point where you feel like it's got to be everything you want all at once. You know what I mean? If you don't know, it's okay. Ask yourself the question and allow yourself room to get clarity as you go on your way. Okay. Once you get that clarity, take the information, the data that you acquire, and construct that vision statement for your life. Write the vision, make it plain, that they may run that read it. You have to write it. You have to read it regularly, but then you have to run with it. And after you run with it, you have to refer to it and remind yourself of where it is you're going. Your vision speaks to your activity. It helps keep your activity in life in alignment with what it is that you said you wanted. You understand that? So now when things come your way, opportunities come your way, people come your way, those who have a vision for a relationship, and I'm speaking to some of the ladies right now who want to be married, and you want to have a beautiful wedding and family and a marriage. Write a vision for what you want in a man. Your finances. How much do you want to make a year? How much do you want to acquire financially in a year? What's the vision? Make it plain. So write the vision, make it plain, read it, then run with it. Refer to it while you're on your run. Remind yourself of what it is that needs to be done. And as you're out running, you may have to take a moment or two, maybe, to revise it, upgrade it. So the three steps to fulfilling purpose, how to construct your vision and fulfill purpose in your life. Write your vision. It keeps the activity in your life in alignment. Write the vision, make it plain, read it, and run with it. This has been the Build on Beauty podcast, where beauty is born skin deep. I'm your host, Cornell Jermaine. Until next time, let your soul be made whole. Take care.
Thank you for listening to the Build on Beauty podcast. For more information about our host, please visit cornelljermaine.com.